Jeff Hansen, Window Warriors Forum. Check us out at windowcleaningwarriors.com. Today we're going to take a look at a residential job in Minnesota. This is just our standard home that we always see. The two windows on the top to the left are completed already. This ladder move on a 28-foot ladder that's probably fully extended is going to be, our process will be 18-inch applicator. We wet the window down. We then take a 6-inch T-bar that has a bronze wool sleeve attached to it. We scrub all of our residential jobs down with the bronze wool pad, two separate directions, and then we'll come with that 18-inch squeegee to squeegee it, and then finally detail each window. This is a one-time-a-year job. Ends up getting tree sap, whatnot on it. As we squeegee off this ladder, we start with the portion of the window closest to the ladder, then away. Our last swipe here, we swipe away from the ladder, close out closest to the ladder. Squeegee pattern off the ladder, keeping in mind ladder safety. You keep your movements aligned with, safe work practices, so you're not doing any excessive leaning or whatnot. And that's why with that final stroke of that squeegee, we squeegee down to that bottom right lower corner and then come towards us to close out, so you're closing out at the ladder. Just a more comfortable closeout. Doesn't have you doing any excessive leaning or anything. After the window's detailed, there's a 8-inch wide panel separating the upper and lower windows. We'll just knock all the water off that, any dirt marks that were on it. And as we step down, now we have that bottom set of 5 windows. There's double hung window on each side with that large picture window in the middle. So what we can reach, because of the pitch of our ladder, is only the top part of that right double hung that is currently being cleaned right now. But it's the same process. Using that 18-inch applicator, wet it, 6-inch bronze wool pad to scrub it, two separate directions, and then we come in for our final squeegee. After that squeegee, we will detail edges. Now from there, an option is to go to the left and clean as much of this picture window as we can. But usually the best option for us is going to be climb down the ladder, reposition that ladder, we'll drop it down so that pitch is closer. So we're going to be closer, we're going to put the ladder tip right between those two windows, the upper and the lower window, because we have better reach. The window is going to be more accessible. It's going to be right within our reach, and allows for better scrubbing, less reaching, just safer for working on a ladder. So now we moved it down, extended that ladder down, position that ladder between the upper and bottom windows. The screen from the inside was already popped out, so they have plungers on each side. From the inside, we just release one of those plungers, push the window out, so when we are on the outside, we can easily grab that screen off of there and remove it. And you can see, if you look close, once we took that screen off, the screen is resting on the worker's feet and then leaning against the home. So it's a hands-free situation. We don't have to clip it onto a rope and hang it or anything like that. Don't have to hang on to it with one hand. We still have 2 feet on the ladder, one hand on the ladder, and one hand free to work. Another misconception with ladder safety, OSHA compliance, is 3 points of contact. That's only when descending or ascending a ladder. When you're in a working position, that 3 points isn't a requirement. You always have to go by common sense and safe ladder working conditions for, every company's going to have, safe working conditions set up for their company. It's best to follow those, or common sense. We don't want to be leaning too much or anything, but that 3 points of contact is always misunderstood. It's only when climbing or going up or down a ladder. So keep that in mind. That lower window, I mean, nothing changes. So our patterns on sizes of windows stays the same for a particular size. We're on a commercial site. Majority of the time, all windows are about the same size, so your pattern stays the same. The difference with the residential, there's so many different window sizes. Just in this picture frame, we have so many different window sizes. And then the guy working to the right, he has different window sizes than with that first worker. So each worker is working on different window sizes, so your pattern slightly changes. So a new guy, it's best to start off on a commercial because all your window sizes are going to be the same, uniform. You get a really good opportunity to work on one squeegee pattern and just fine tune it. And then from there, you're able to tweak that pattern once you get to like a residential or whatnot and see what's the best pattern based on squeegee size versus window size and what's going to be most efficient. So once we get that window clean, detailed, we're gonna pop that screen and off our feet that was resting there, put it back up, and what we use is like a credit card or a business card, and we put one side of, because they have plungers on each side, so we got to relatch that screen. We can relatch this type, they're spring loaded from the outside by taking that business card or credit card type thing, flat piece of material, and put it between the window frame and where that plunger needs to lock in. Push that screen directly in place. As soon as we release that card, that plunger is able to lock into where it's supposed to go, and we're off. So now we'll go up. You can see, because this large picture window, we're going to get in one move, even though we do have to go one ladder move over to get that smaller window. I'm just going to hit this in one ladder move, this large picture window. But to get this reach, after I wet this with my 18-inch applicator, I'm taking my 18-inch squeegee, putting my 6-inch T-bar on that just for an extra, maybe foot or 18-inch of reach, and scrub it. I'm going to scrub the farthest area first and then remove that handle from that squeegee blade channel and then put it in my hand and physically do it from hand. Once we're done scrubbing this window down, I think we have it all covered. We're going to squeegee it, and the method we'll use to avoid excessive reaching off the ladder with that 18-inch squeegee is more than likely we're going to take and hold that squeegee channel by the tip, reach over, do that one pass, the farthest area. Then we can hold on to the actual squeegee handle to squeegee the rest of the window that we can easily reach. Another way to do this is to split that picture window in half, get half in this ladder move, and then as we move over, get the other half from that move. It's what each user is comfortable with and what's going to allow you to fall within your company's safety policy and guidelines for ladder safety. Once we get that squeegeed, same as everything else, same process that we're using on every one of these windows, we're just going to detail our edges. One thing that helps save time with residential work or any type of ladder work is how fast you're moving from one window move, one ladder setup, to the next ladder setup. You can see when that 28-foot ladder was fully extended and the tips of the ladder were above that tallest window, it was easy. We just kicked it back, lowered the window down, put it right where we needed it to be, put it against, check for stability, and up we went. Now this time is going to be a little bit different, to where we are going to have to move this ladder over to the left, a good 5-6 feet or whatnot. So the ground's going to be a little bit different for footing, and this is actually on a very slight slope, so we might have to even lower a rung or something, because the distance from the ground to that same ladder point where we're going to position the tip of our ladder is going to be slightly different. So we just want to either adjust our leg levelers or see what we're going to do to see where we want to position the base or that top of that ladder. So as we move that ladder over, looks like the slope's just good enough to where we don't need to move it. and up we go. Just a quick, checking the footing, making sure the footing's good, stability's good. We're popping that screen off. So we'll watch here as we take that screen off that was already propped out a little bit. Or actually there was a little debris on there where we used a 6-inch razor blade just to, scrape the edges slightly, where maybe a stubborn stain was on it or something. Now we're taking that screen off. That screen is going to our feet and then leaning against the home. Makes it that hands-free ladder position, so now we can work and work a little more safely because we don't have to hold the ladder, hold the screen, or take the time to dangle a screen from a clip or anything like that on a short rope. Ladder work can be as safe as working on the ground. It depends on the worker, the company's training, and how the two work together to implement that safety training and the company policies. It's up to our workers majority of the time, because a lot of us are unsupervised when we're out on job sites, and it's up to us to use common sense and good judgment and to know our abilities and what our equipment capabilities are to successfully and safely wash windows with our ever-changing obstacles that we encounter. If it's landscape, the many obstacles that we have, where access to windows is sometimes the most challenging part. The squeegeeing is kind of second nature to most of us and is quick and a fast process or part of the job.